Hey gang, what's up? Uncle Trav coming to you from the Garden Center today in beautiful Donelson, Tennessee. If we've installed a water feature at your house, we've had this conversation. We're gonna talk about some basic maintenance that you can handle after we've installed the water feature. We usually go over this at the end of a job, but now you don't have to remember. You can also take part of our maintenance program and we can handle all this for you if you don't wanna get your hands wet and dirty. Let's take a look. First and foremost, when you have a pond, you're gonna need to check the skimmer, or you're gonna need to have us check the skimmer for you. It's super simple. Here's how you do it. You're just gonna pop the fake rock lid off. The 400 and 1000 skimmers have this feature right here that I absolutely love. This weir door locks shut. You leave the pump on, it drains all the water out of the skimmer, so you don't have to get your hands super gross. You pull your skimmer basket out, take all the leaves and debris and things out of there. Might have to reach down and clean off the skimmer pad a little bit. That sound is okay. That's the pump sucking air. If it's going to do it for a couple of minutes, that's not a big deal. You just don't want it doing it for hours on end. At this point, you also want to check the skimmer pad to make sure it's not obstructed with any debris, algae, anything like that. That way water can pass through it and bacteria can colonize on it. All right, got my skimmer all cleaned out. The two holes go over the two posts. And what I like to do, so I'm not forcing that down, is I like to grab the tab here and pinch it open. Force of the water shoves the door right back open and fills your skimmer. It might knock a little more debris in like we've done here. You can simply just reach in and pull that out. Sometimes this will cloudy up your water going through the stream into the waterfall. Not a big deal, it'll clear up in a couple hours. You just put your skimmer lid back down and we're on to the next thing. Okay, so we cleaned out our skimmer. Now we need to add beneficial bacteria. I just happen to have some right here. Here's how I like to add it in my pond, but there's a couple of different ways, so let's check it out. My pond has a small intake bay. I don't have a skimmer, so I can't add it into the skimmer. The second best way to do it is to take your bacteria. You want to add it right in front of the skimmer or in your intake bay so that the pump can grab it, pull it in over that gravel so it can start to colonize, get it mixed up with the water, get it into your biofalls, get it into the filter mats in the biofalls so it can colonize there, get it onto the bioballs so it can be living there doing its thing. But it's super simple. One scoop does 1,300 gallons. Take your scoop, drop it right in front of the skimmer. What most folks will tell you, Derek and myself included, the best way to do it is to put it right in the skimmer. And that's super simple. You just take your skimmer lid off, take your scoop of bacteria, and just drop it in right on top of the pump. For a new pond, I recommend you double dose the pond every day for 2 weeks. This pond is about 700 gallons. One scoop of this does 1,300 gallons. So one scoop of this every day for 2 weeks after a new install or at the beginning of the season is kind of like a booster shot. It's gonna get that pond kind of, as it's starting to wake up, that new bacteria is in there and it's starting to do its work. Some days might be a little too cold for it, but it's not gonna hurt anything to put it in there. And it also helps get us in the habit of doing that again every week. After that first 2 weeks, you're gonna go back to a regular dose once a week. I really like the dry bacteria. It's super stable and it has a really long shelf life, provided, I tell folks, treat this like a bag of flour. Keep it in the house somewhere, don't let it get wet, don't let it get too hot, don't let it get too cold. If you leave it outside over the winter, we don't get super cold here in Tennessee, but it could get cold enough that it would kill it and render it inert. It wouldn't hurt the pond to put it in there, it's just not gonna do anything because it's dead. Same thing if it gets too hot, you'll cook this stuff and it won't work anymore. Or if bacteria is not your thing and you've got an AutoDoser, we're gonna show you how to swap the AutoDoser bag out really quick. This is also something we could come by and do for you on a monthly basis. For more in-depth conversation about the AutoDoser, check that video out below. So you just take the top off the AutoDoser, take the old bag off, it unscrews from the little cap down in here. If there's any remnant in the bag, you just pour that in the pond, screw your new bag on, put it down in the container, put the top back on, make sure it's set to prime, make sure the hose is in the water and you're good to go. We try to make sure that the tube is as hidden as it can be. You don't need to be in the biofalls. We don't need to be in the biofalls except once a year when we do the annual cleaning, but that comes all the way apart. We clean that out at the time of the spring cleaning, which you can check out in our spring cleanout video. But something you might want to do as part of regular ongoing maintenance, or you could have us come by and do it if you'd like. If you see some of the string algae in this stream, some folks don't like it, they think it's unsightly. You can pick that off. I throw it in my compost pile. It's actually ironic because it's unsightly, but it makes the water quality crystal clear because it's an aquatic plant and it does the same thing that water lilies do or iris. It's just ugly to look at. There's a couple of ways to control and eliminate string algae. One of those ways is granular algicide. It's called EcoBlast. You literally turn your stream off, take the powder, you sprinkle it on the algae, let it sit for 30, 45 minutes, and it literally just, it dissolves and disappears. Or you could do the ion gin, and you can check out a more in-depth video on the ion gin down below as well. During a spring cleanout, plants are cut back so they can come out new for the year. But during the course of the year, fish can knock something over, or any number of things could happen to a plant that would cause the leaves to brown out. Now these guys have already been cut back, this iris here and the lily, but as needed, we would cut those back as well as part of a maintenance program. There you have it, the basic steps of pond maintenance. It's all part of the maintenance program that we've got going on here at JVI Secret Gardens. In the meantime, you know the drill. Like, follow, share, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know what you think. If you want to know more about the maintenance program, reach out to us. Give Derek a shout, give me a call, give Jamie a shout. Hit us up on email, hit us up on socials. In the meantime, Uncle Trav, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.